Tutorial we looked at a string in Python, and for your case I've just added another type of data, which is tuples, and we also have a look at it. But for now, let's look at a list in Python, and I'm just gonna have it as a let me think I should make it in uppercase, so I'm gonna have it as list, just to make our notebook looks nice. And so what is a list? So list in Python is basically defined by a pair of brackets on either end, with the individual elements inside them separated by a comma. So let me make a simple list here. Let's say height, and square brackets. So we're going to have square brackets and then have items inside that square bracket separated by commas, and that will be our list. So let's say the first person is 2 meters, really. Another one is 1.5 commas, and then 6.1 and 7. I'm not sure if there's someone with 7. 4. So this is our list. So we have got a list, and this is the list, and then we have assigned it a variable name called height. So we are using the principles that we learned in our previous tutorial. So that is, this is our list called height, and it has got four elements. The first element is 2, the second 1.5. So we can run that, and list can also contain different elements types. So let me use let's say details, and let me have a list that contains different elements. So the first one will be 550, so that is an integer. I can also have got 13.5, which is a string, is a float, sorry. I can have something like let me use Starlink, which is a string. We can also have some complex number, 2 plus let's say 0j, and then lastly we can have let's say USA. So you can see we have got a list called details, or assigned to a variable name called details, and it has got different kinds of integers, not integers but really data types. So the first one is an integer, the next one is a float, the other one is a string, complex number, and another string. So we have got 2 lists. So when we run this, if I run the first one and just type, so by the way, in Jupyter Notebooks, you can just type a variable and it give you an output. So literally running this will give you an output of the first list. I can also do the same for details. So that will give me my second list. So that is to do with the list. So there's something in list called as known as indexing, or how do you locate the elements inside a list. So each of these is called an element. So how do you locate this? So unlike other programming language, Python and C allows you to index list by specifying their locations from starting from 0. So the first element here, let me use this one, is more clear, the details. The first element, which is 550, will be position 0. The second one, position 1. The third one, position 2, like that. So if I want to access the first one in details, in my list details, I simply type the name of the list. So the name of the list, which is details, followed by square brackets, and then specify the location. So the first element, as I said in Python, is 0. So if I do 0, it should return 550, and it does that. If I do 0, 1, 2, it should return star link, and it does that. So that is how you select an element within a list. So this aspect of Python is normally known as zero indexed, and in some cases you might also label them or identify objects starting from the other side. So we can also do that by the first element here will be -1, so that is starting on the opposite side. So if I do details -1, it should give me USA, which is like the last element, and then this one should be proceeding the same way. So that is how you index, so starting with -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. But we want to do that, the easiest way is just start from the first one, 0, like that. I'm seeing the video is almost over. I'm gonna do the second part of list. Stay tuned.